There were so many ways that West Point sabotaged any chances of me developing into a collegiate sex kitten, even with a 9-to-1 male-to-female ratio. For starters, I had to chop off my hair when I reported to basic training. Some women look adorable with short hair, but my thin, frizzy mess of curls need a lot of length if I don't want to look like Seth Rogen. So that was strike one against me. And then, as if to tease me one last time before becoming a full-fledged cross-dresser, since male and female uniforms are identical, I had to report to an upperclassman who looked just like Tom Cruise from his Top Gun days. Reporting to the cadet in the red sash is supposed to be one of the most nerve-wracking, intimidating experiences of basic training. I was warned about it in high school 2 years in advance. I've even come across plenty of civilians, not affiliated with West Point, who have heard about this rite of passage. I spent weeks preparing for it, practicing in front of the mirror with a crisp salute and stern demeanor. "Sir, new cadet reports to the cadet in the red sash for the first time as ordered." Once I had that down pat, I moved on to my 4 responses, the only phrases I was allowed to utter in the presence of upperclassmen. "Yes, sir." "No, sir." "No excuse, sir." "Sir, I do not understand." I practiced so much that by the time basic training started, I could execute this perfectly in my sleep. So when it was my turn to approach the cadet in the red sash, I was ready, confident that I would make a good first impression. And I fucking nailed it. I figured that the rest of my correspondence would go smoothly. I knew exactly what was coming my way. But the one thing I wasn't prepared for, the last thing I expected from this hazing ritual, was to get horny. The cadet in the red sash stared into my eyes for what seemed like an eternity. Instead of focusing on the tasks at hand, my mind started wandering, imagining him unbuttoning his crisp white uniform shirt, revealing his bulging muscles. My high school didn't have men who looked like this. I was in the presence of chiseled beauty at its finest. Thank God I was smart enough to get into West Point and enjoy this meat market, I thought. But just before I could feel any moisture in my panties, not generated from nervous sweat, Cadet Man-Meat snapped me back into reality. "New cadet, are you wearing contact lenses?" So he was staring at my eyes. "Yes, sir," I responded. "You're dismissed." What the fuck? I marched on. What a letdown. All of that hype and it was simple and over just like that. I was also very confused by the contact lenses question, but a few hours later, I finally understood when another upperclassman handed me the most hideous pair of glasses ever manufactured in world history. "New cadet, contact lenses and civilian glasses are prohibited during basic training. We acquired these glasses for you. They're your prescription. Do you have any questions?" "No, sir." When I got to my room, I removed my contacts, donned the brown thick plastic rimmed contraption, and stared at my reflection in the mirror. Between that, my new uniform, and hair that barely brushed past the bottom of my ears, I didn't recognize myself. Holy shit, I'm really fucking ugly, I thought. So much for a 9-to-1 male to female ratio. The only way I would ever attract a guy in this condition is if there was a 9,999 to 1 ratio. I was the last woman on the face of the planet, and the future of the human race required my ovaries to continue existing. But that's probably why these glasses were officially dubbed birth control goggles. I didn't help my cause by gaining the freshman 15. Yes, I ironically found the one element that united me with new collegiates across America, minus all of the fun debauchery and underage beer guzzling. So how does a West Point new cadet rapidly gain so much weight, especially during basic training, when half of the day is spent doing some form of athletic activity? The culprit? Mess hall food. I showed up to West Point a lean and muscular 124 pounds due to my rigorous preparation and self-imposed strict diet. But when you have no say in your nutrition plan and are subject to meals of greasy meatloaf and Doritos, it can turn a hot little bod into the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Well, that, and my new habit of food hoarding, in the literal sense of eating well past the point of fullness, because an upperclassman could take away my food at any time, and I wasn't allowed to keep snacks in my room. But no big deal. It only took me 14 years to shed my extra West Point tire and resume my pre-army weight. And then to add insult to injury, we were forced to weigh in public. So every week, all of the guys could keep tabs on my hip and thigh expansion. 124 pounds, 128 pounds, 133 pounds, 136 pounds, 139 pounds. New cadet, how the hell are you gaining so much weight? No excuse, sir! Soon I embodied the urban legend about the Hudson Theta. Because West Point is nestled along the Hudson River, this is the name of the angle between a West Point female cadet's thigh and the shaft of the saber that she wears for parades. Every year, that Hudson Theta angle just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Just when I thought I had hit my breaking point, we were forced to chant a new battle cry. We are not men! We are beasts! For you have made us beasts! I wondered what would happen if I tried to use that as a pickup line in a bar. Soon I realized that this whole college experience was all about transitioning me from a woman to a warrior. Well, becoming a warrior was tough work, and my body had a hard time adjusting. But I think the men had it even worse. Panic ensued when they all discovered the loss of their morning wood. Rumor had it that our mess hall food was purposely contaminated with saltpeter, but the upperclassmen reassured us that the boner disappearance was due to stress and admitted that it happened to all of them too once upon a time. They promised the prompt return of the phantom erections as soon as basic training was complete. And return they did, often at the most inopportune times, like when they were asked to take boards and write out math homework on the chalkboard. I thought the polyester uniform pants did a horrible job of camouflaging my bubble butt. Well, apparently they were completely ill-equipped to conceal spontaneous arousal. None of the guys could explain why this happened, because it's not like my presence did anything to turn them on. But they made do by concealing themselves with textbooks and their non-writing hands.